Early on in the project, the current TSP has two, from where we are today, it suggests either a traffic signal or a roundabout. So that intersection we knew was going to be a key intersection for traffic flow. And also it had a lot of constraints in terms of, it's at the top of the hill. That hill periodically sees backups, and in the winter it sees stalls for freight vehicles or larger vehicles. And so early on in the project, knowing that we were going to have these discussions, I asked that we supplement DKS and MIG, our primary project team, with a team out of Carmel, Indiana, called Structure Point. They are the foremost roundabout area experts in the United States. If you know anything about Carmel, Indiana, I believe they have 46 roundabouts in their city. Somehow Indiana became more progressive in transportation than we did, but it's true. So we hired them on a subcontract, and then I asked them to evaluate with DKS these roundabouts. I think the first one was, what did we really need a 2-lane? Would a single lane roundabout with a smaller footprint limit the property acquisition, make a more, call it a human scale feature? Could that satisfy the traffic demands of this north to south interstate? And that came back as no. One thing about roundabouts that becomes challenging is it's very difficult to scale them incrementally. You have 1 lane and there's no 1.5 lane, 1.25 lane solution. You go from 1 to 2. So what we found was 1 lane was going to fail to handle the traffic, and 2 lane handles it really well. So it becomes a full-size feature that has enough capacity. It's actually has the best capacity of even a signalized intersection, in terms of preventing backups, down to what we saw is even the transportation modeling and forecast had backups with a signalized intersection down to Oak and 13th, which was an unacceptable backup. So we saw forecasted backups on a signalized intersection that backed up into another intersection, and that's really an unacceptable operational outcome. But we also saw that a single lane roundabout would not provide enough space to prevent the backup.